My name is Sophie Johnson.
And I'm Stowers.
We are both pre-service teachers at Griffith University, and we have partnered with the Sustainable Schools Network to create this video to help educate teachers on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal of climate action.
Through this video, we aim to share with you some knowledge on climate change, why it is important that this is touched on in the schools, and what you can do to help implement these learnings in your classrooms.
So, who are the United Nations and what do they do? The United Nations is an international organisation that was founded in 1945 after the Second World War. 51 countries joined and committed to maintaining international peace and security, developing friendly relations among nations, promoting social progress, better living standards, and human rights. It was inspired after the world had seen the devastation of both World War I and World War II in just a number of decades. The UN was a solution to create international union and promote a better world. The UN works tirelessly to achieve and promote their goals. With its unique position, the UN is able to utilise resources all over the globe, which has led to large impact and great outcome.
At the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Paris in 2015, 175 countries signed the Paris Agreement, and the United Nations announced 17 goals called the Sustainable Development Goals. As the UN explains, the Sustainable Development Goals are the blueprint to achieve a better, more sustainable future for us all. They address the global challenges we face, including those related to poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, and peace and justice. The 17 goals are all interconnected, and in order to leave no one behind, it is important that we achieve them all by 2030.
To begin locally, Australia experienced its hottest and driest year on record in 2019. With a perfect storm of conditions, including strong winds, prolonged periods of drought, and searing temperatures, alongside the assistance of climate change, the 2019 bushfires burnt along southeast Australia for 3 months. Those bushfires alone contributed as much as 2/3 of Australia's average annual CO2 emissions into the atmosphere, having devastating effects. Although what we witnessed in the Australian bushfires in 2019 will likely remain a rare event, global warming has increased the chances of these fires occurring in Southeast Australia by 30%. To expand our view, every country on the globe is being affected by climate change. The effects are seen in the increased occurrences and severity of weather events, such as hurricanes, tropical storms, droughts, flooding, and bushfires. Climate change also results in the reduction of natural resources, such as fresh water and food, therefore resulting in the worsening of human rights concerns, such as famine and conflict. The survival of many societies and our diverse ecosystems is at risk due to the effect of climate change.
The United Nations identifies climate change as a change in average weather patterns, including temperature, wind, and precipitation. Scientists agree that human activity is the cause of climate change over the past 100 years, and the Earth is warming at a rate higher than any previous changes in climate experienced. The oceans are warming, polar ice caps are melting, and the sea levels are rising, in some places threatening to inundate entire islands. Greenhouse gas emissions have increased by 50% since 1990, and the economic loss from climate-related disasters is hundreds of billions of dollars annually. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development identified climate change as one of the greatest challenges of our time. As the UN stated, we have an opportunity now to take actions that will lead to more jobs, greater prosperity, and better lives for all.
So, we know what climate change is and why it's important, but what is climate action? The UN's Paris Agreement involves the goal to limit global warming to less than 2 degrees Celsius, with the optimised result of 1.5 degrees Celsius. The aim is to have a global net reduction of CO2 emissions by 45% between 2010 and 2030. So, climate action is the steps that we take to reduce these CO2 emissions. We all need to work together to achieve these goals, governments, business, and individuals, to aim to make our cities and our countries greener.
It's important to not only teach our students to take climate actions, but we need our students to be well educated on climate change, as they will be responsible for making decisions and acting on climate change in their future. With curriculums that are already overcrowded, although it is important to note that the Australian curriculum does identify sustainability as one of the 3 cross-curriculum priorities, as well as the rising pressures to perform in standardised testing, it may seem overwhelming for teachers trying to fit in such an ambiguous topic as climate change into the already overflowing school schedule. Where do you start? But it is important to note that there is plenty of resources available for teachers and that there are valuable lessons to be learned when teaching about climate change. Learning about climate change encourages civic ownership from our students. It grounds them with their community and the global community and identifies how, as individuals, our students fit into the larger picture of our planet. Teaching about climate change imparts responsibility for both their actions and their inactions, and that there are consequences for all, and what they do can impact the world in a positive or a negative way. With the world we all live in facing potentially catastrophic consequences, as well as the relevance of increasingly severe weather events to frame conversations in a local context, along with the age-old sentiment that the children are the future, to not educate our students or address climate change at schools is setting us all up for failure.
As mentioned, it is clear that educating our students on sustainability is vital in creating responsible citizens of our planet. Teachers are the key in this learning, and it is imperative that they have the skills and knowledge to teach about sustainability effectively. It doesn't just stop in the classroom either. With students learning how to lead more sustainable lives, they'll take this home with them and share with their families, therefore educating the wider community. So where do we begin when we want to make some sustainability changes within the school environment? Start by trying to get the approval of the management of the school. Tell them what your plans are and why you hope to achieve them. Next, it's advised to start a sustainability team. This way there's some structure. You've got people to bounce off, and people know who to come to when they have ideas or questions about what's happening around the school. Next, it's best to survey where the school is at. Find out how much water consumption, energy consumption, and waste is produced at the school. This way you have a starting point. Any changes that you make or implement, they can be tracked. Your success can be seen, and it will help to roll momentum in making bigger changes down the track. A great tool to help assist in this process is a program called Climate Clever. Climate Clever allows you to calculate your school's carbon emissions, audit how your school is currently performing, and they have a wide range of tools to help you start making changes for the better.
What next? There are plenty of things that can be done to make a lasting impact. The following are all examples of things that can be done around your school to make a difference. Remember to engage the community by making sustainability fun and meaningful. Inspiring people to get involved will help encourage new habits, and those new habits can create great change. Ensure that there are recycling bins available to all students and encourage the use of them. For younger students, educate them on the importance of throwing their recyclables in the correct bins and why. For older students, encourage the use of technology and reduce the number of paper printout worksheets. Introduce waste-free lunchboxes. Encourage students to get reusable lunchboxes and containers and give them ideas on low-waste foods. Use recycled stationery wherever possible. Ensure lights and electronics are turned off or in power-saving mode whenever they're not in use. For younger students, you could allocate an energy-saving champion each week who is responsible for checking that the lights and electronics are turned off at break times and at the end of each day. And remember to link your content in your classrooms to sustainability.
Larger recycle points can be added to the school. Things such as Nespresso pod recycling, clothes donation, and even compost bins. Locating these near the school drop-off also entices the school community to get involved. A communal school garden can be started, allowing for fresh produce to be grown for school hospitality and tuck shop use. A compost can be created and utilised in this area to help reduce food waste, and you could even get some chickens. Get the school involved in community days, such as Clean Up Australia Day and Earth Hour. Try to reduce water by installing a water tank, or upgrading to water-saving taps and water fountains.
By starting to think about how we ourselves can make changes to lead a more sustainable life, and by introducing more sustainable actions into our schools, imagine how many people we will inspire to do the same.
If all schools had this approach towards sustainability, the effects on our communities, our countries, and our planet will be so positive. Everyone needs to remember that their actions do make a difference in our global quest for climate action.
We hope this video will inspire you to take some action, and be sure to visit the Sustainable Schools Network website or social media platforms for more information. Thank you for watching.